I'm going to speak a little bit about from 2 Samuel 13 and 2 Samuel chapter 13. I'll read a few verses here. Don't give me a hard time now, because you're thinking, well, I wish it was a Father's Day this, or because it might just be. All right. Verse 1 says, "And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister, whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her." Now we have two brothers and a sister. Although I think Amnon is actually a half brother. And Amnon was so vexed or distressed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar. For she was a virgin, and Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemiah, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very subtle man, or crafty, sneaky. He was smart, crafty. And he said unto him, now this is Jonadab getting ready to say unto Amnon, who has made himself sick because he loves his sister so much. He said, "Why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day? Will thou not tell me?" And Amnon said unto him, "I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister." And Jonadab said unto him, "Lay thee down on thy bed, and make thyself sick. And when thy father cometh to see thee," now his father is King David, "say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come, and give me meat, and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it, and eat it at her hand." So Amnon lay down and made himself sick, and when the king was come to him, Amnon said unto the king, "I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come, and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at her hand." Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, "Go now to thy brother's Amnon's house, and dress him meat." So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down, and she took flour and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes. And she took a pan and poured them out before him. But he refused to eat. And Amnon said, "Have out all men from me." In other words, get all the men out of here, away from me. And they went out every man from him. And Amnon said unto Tamar, "Bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand." And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber of Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her, and said unto her, "Come lie with me, my sister." And she answered him, "Nay, my brother, do not force me. For such thing ought to be done in Israel. No such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly. And I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to tell you that he forced her anyway. And then right after he did what he did, he despised her even more than he loved her. And he had his servants take her away from his face and lock the door behind her. You can continue to read this, and matter of fact, I will read a little bit more, but I'll start with verse 20. Now Absalom, her brother, he hated his brother. Now, especially now. He hated Absalom. Well, let me read it. And Absalom, her brother, said unto her, Hath Amnon thy brother been with thee? But hold thy peace, my sister. But hold now thy peace. He is thy brother. Regard not this thing. Sounds like he's just telling her, hey, it's your brother. Don't ponder on it. Don't worry about it. It'll all be taken care of. And then that was that. But oh no, Absalom had him a plan. He said, he is thy brother, regard not the thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. But when King David heard all these things, he was very wroth. He was very angry. And Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar. And it came to pass after 2 full years that Absalom had sheep shearers, in Baal-hazar, which is beside Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's sons, in other words, all of his brothers. Now you have to understand, these are not full-blooded brothers. I mean, the king had, I don't know how many wives, concubines. That was the way it was. But he invited all of his brothers, half-brothers, whatnot. And Absalom, verse 24, came to the king and said, Behold now, thy servant hath sheep shearers. Let the king, I beseech thee, and his servants go with thy servants, or you and all your servants come on with me. And the king said to Absalom, which of course is his son, No, my son, let us not all now go, lest we be chargeable unto thee. And he pressed him, but David still would not go. Absalom, come on. David still would not go. But he blessed Absalom and sent him on his way. But now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, Mark ye now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him. Fear not. Have not I commanded you courageous? Be courageous and be valiant. Don't be afraid to do this. Don't worry about anybody getting to you. I am telling you that when you see my brother all gung-ho, happy, and wind up, you kill him right there and then. Now, church, he did Amnon, the one who did force his sister, was indeed killed. And Absalom did this. And Absalom, I'm going to stop there, but Absalom, which was his brother and David, his father, the king, he held this against David, his father, the king, because David, and rightfully so, I mean, if you want to really get down to it, David knew about this. He was angry about this. He was in a rage about this. But we don't see where David did too much about this. 2 full years have went by, and Absalom, it was still on him, and it was revenge time as far as he's concerned, and that hatred took hold of Absalom, and that's what I'm getting to, church. We have fathers today, do we not? Some fathers have been the best father that can ever be. And some fathers have maybe done what David has done. Maybe just overlooked something. Maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they did not. But brother, we can continue to read, if we will, on down the road there and finish up that chapter. We can see where Absalom himself even rose up to kill his own father. But we can see at the same time, if we continue to read, David would not fight his son. David had no desire to kill his son. David was king, but Absalom was so frustrated and angry with him. He was gathering men and he was going to take over Israel, and he almost had it, or it looked like it. And David began to get away and run from Absalom. Oh, but the story is this. When it push come to shove, brother, they was out in the field and the battle began, and David was actually going to go and fight against them with his men. But they said, no, sir, king, you stay over here out of the way, because if they will see you, they will leave and forsake from fighting us, and they will kill you beyond a doubt. So you just stay over here. You're much more important being the king to them than we are. We'll go out and fight and keep you safe. And that's exactly what they did. Oh, but Absalom, he was filled with anger. He was filled with malice. How many of you right here might have a dad, or may have had a dad one time, and you're still carrying around something in your heart that maybe he did or did not do that you think he should have? Maybe he did something you think he should not have. Whatever the case may be, are you still carrying that around with you? If you are, church, the story ends like this. Absalom was running on his mule or his horse, whatever you want to call it, and there was a big oak tree there, and brother, it just caught him by the hair and pulled him right up and hung him right there. And then the servants of David came by, and Absalom was still alive, but they speared him in the heart, I believe, about 4 times. Oh, what are you getting to? I'm presenting you with this church. There's fathers in this world every day, everywhere that we want to go. And I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, everybody don't have the best father in the world, but you have to let this go. You have to let that balance go, because they're in the flesh, just like King David was. And they're going to make mistakes just like King David did. I don't know about you, but I'll have to actually pat my own dad in the flesh on the back for raising 5 boys and 1 girl, when me being the oldest at 14, everybody was underneath me. We could have went here, we could have ended up there, but he kept us all straight, and he raised his brother the best he could, and I'm thankful for that. There's no malice or anything that I can think of that will even cause me to be angry with my dad. In all reality, I'm not here to brag on this or that, but I hope I can be half the man that he has been as far as in my own eyes. But I'll tell you one thing, church, not all fathers are like that. Not all dads are like that. And there's some people even I see at funeral homes that stand there, and brother, they cannot even bring themselves to go up and face the one laying there because of something that took place in their life. But it only bothers you the rest of your life. You have to learn to let it go. Absalom should have learned there's nothing wrong with paying back the brother for something that he did. But brother, he could have left it right there, but he still kept it going. He allowed the old devil, if you will, to put this in his heart, and he would not allow it to go. And it cost him his life when the end came, church. It will cost you nothing but your life. It will cost you and I misery, and it will rob all of the joy that we could ever have within us. And I'll tell you how. How can I enjoy the gift of God when I've got frustration all in my heart because of something somebody did? How can I enjoy the peace that will come from God and God alone when I'm focused on something somebody has done to me years and years back? Oh, but there's people that are carrying that around. Let it go, church. If you're in that position, I don't know why this is upon me to preach, what God does. And that's all that matters to me, because He and He alone sees that heart. It may not be a father, maybe it's a mother, maybe it's a brother or a sister, or maybe it's a sibling down there somewhere. I don't know about anything that's not of God. Learn to let it go. If somebody has done you wrong, forgive them anyway. I know how hard it is. Oh, but I'm going to finish it up with this right here. What did the Lord say of Him being the Father of everyone when His own children were crucifying Him? Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Sometimes in my life, I have already been in the position, been there, and been through it, to where I had to say, Lord, help me to forgive him or her, my own children, because I don't know if I can. Help me. I got the strength. It does not run anything that has passed, does not run my thoughts. Anything that has been done to me or someone that I love does not run my heart, does not run my thoughts. Yes, the thoughts come sometime, but what I'm saying, and yes, I can even anger myself sometime if I allow myself to ponder on it. But brother, that's exactly what the devil is looking for. He'll ruin you, or he'll die, or he'll perish trying. Brother, the devil is never going to tell you the truth. The devil is going to make things seem like everything is all right, when in all reality it's not all right at all. But church, understand this. The moral of this whole message would be this. Learn to love one another in a godly manner, and learn to forgive each other, and do not hold that grudge, because how can a grudge hold, do anything to somebody when they've been gone out of this world for years? But holding a grudge like Absalom, a brother, will bring you and myself and anybody else as well down one way or another, and it may end up costing the very life that God has given us. And it takes me right back into Cain and Abel. Brother, when Cain when God would not allow, when God would not offer, when God would not accept, there's the word I'm looking for, a gift that came from Cain. No, Cain, I will not accept your gift. No, Cain, I will not accept your offering. Your heart's all wrong. You're just trying to give me anything, and I'm not going to accept it. And brother, malice was in the heart of Cain, was it not? Evil thoughts came into the heart of Cain, did they not? And he followed through with it, did he not? Rose up and committed the first murder I can ever read about in the history of mankind. Killed his own brother, murdered him right there and then. Why? Simply because of rage. Simply because of jealousy. Why? Because of the devil. God told Cain, hey, to do good, you have the power to do good. You have the power to do evil. It's all under your feet. It's all in your hand. You have the power to change this. But if you don't, sin will indeed lie at your door. That's what God was saying in words we can understand. You can change it, but if you don't, I'll tell you something. Don't let nobody in this walkway of life, church, is what I'm getting down to, is what the Lord wants you and I to know. Especially when it comes, don't let nobody cause you to go through this life hating everybody else because of what somebody else did to you or to someone that you loved or cared about. Because I'll tell you what, if that is allowed and it's not put in check, it has to be put in check by God and with God. You and me, we will never be able to overcome that ourselves. It will never happen. Don't you ever think it will. Our flesh does not have that kind of power. That kind of power overcoming things can only come down from the Lord. It has to be Him that we allow to work in our lives to overcome these things. There's certain obstacles the flesh would simply jump up and destroy, just like that, if it were allowed. And it is allowed. Some people do it. Some people say, you know what? I've had all I'm going to take. I'm not going to harm anybody. But goodbye, old world. And bang, bang. They take their... What is all of this? All of this, some people handle things in different manners. But I'll tell you this right now. Get ready to tell you what I was getting ready to tell you. God wants you and I to know that there's no one in this world worth the heartaches that you allow yourself to go through and the end that it may or may not bring unto you. But and why would anybody allow someone else to stand between them and their God? If God says don't. If God says put it away, put it away. If God says, hey, don't get into this malice. Don't get into this frustration, this hatred. Let it go. Because when and even if it's your father's daughters, even if it's your father's sons, even if it's your father's or mother's sons, daughters, whatever the case may be, we all have, everybody here at least has had a father once upon a time. I can safely say that, I believe. Although some of our fathers are gone. And believe you me, church, I have been to enough funerals to where I can see pure hatred, pure just evil within the people, because of what has been done to them, that they simply, you won't forget. You may not forget. That's not what I'm saying. But don't let it run you. Don't let it run you. Did Jesus allow His own sons and His own creation to run Him? No. No, He did not. Did He? If anybody in this world had the right to hold anything against their siblings, which, I say siblings because God created you and I, it would be the Lord. But the Lord said, and look how bad we were to Him. Even while we were sinners, He still said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I can't. I don't know how. Why should I? Because forgiving somebody is for you. It makes you a better person. It releases all of the power, the frustration, the negativity, the hatred. It just vanishes away. Lord, thank you that I am able to do this. I have carried this weight with me since I can't remember when. It seemed like it's always been there. But when we release it and say, Lord, no more, no more, you will be amazed at how much better you will feel in this walkway of life. Getting ready to wrap it up. Now, 29, and the servants of Absalom did unto Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man gat him up upon his mule and fled. Now when everybody was fleeing, there was ended up being two guys running to David on foot. They're going to carry this news back to the king, and one was saying, all of your sons, they've been killed. Every one of them. The other one said, no. Amnon has been slain, but all of your other sons, they're well. And like I was saying a little while ago, Absalom ended up carrying this against his dad, holding this against his dad. His dad didn't do apparently whatever Absalom thought he should do, so I'm just going to take it into my own hands, and I'm going to do what needs to be done. Maybe you're scared, old king. Who knows what he's thinking? But David wasn't scared. But the fact of that is, because of Absalom allowing this to run his life, allowing this to be embedded deep down in his heart, it ended up costing him his life. And no matter who you are, church, it's not worth it. If someone has done you wrong, let it go. If someone needs to be forgiven, even for your own sake, forgive them. You may forget it, you may not. But you don't have to dwell on it. You don't have to allow that to be the power source of your life. Why, they've been so many things done to me, and I'm sure I've done so many things to other people. Why, we would fight like cats and dogs, hate each other with a passion. If we could never get past that, there'd be a lot of people I would ignore like this right here in a minute, because I know they just kill me. They as soon as kill me as look at me, because, you know, I have not been the person I am today all of my life. It's just, I just haven't. But God has changed everything, and I am thankful for that. So regardless if you're a father, mother, son, daughter, whatever, learn. If you're having problems, listen to this message, and I know the Lord gave it to me for a specific reason. He knows why. But I know this also. Get ready to come to a close. We all can benefit from it. Why? How? Because we all get in that position sometimes. We all get in that position sometimes. My final words are this. Look at the households now, to where everybody is against everybody. There's everything but love. Some of us can't get along. It's just bottom line. But, you know, there's got to be a godly love, to say the least. As we stand, always like to do at least part of a song, if not the whole song, at the end. Why? It gives people time to think about the message, and the Lord can be speaking, gives them time to make up their mind, ponder on what they're going to do. But don't ponder too much, church. If the Lord is speaking in any way, simply be obedient. That's the best way to do it. What you want to play? Doesn't matter? All right. 81 it is.